You wake up just like any other morning, but today, something feels off. Your legs feel heavier, your energy thinner, your thoughts a little slower to form. And when you walk into the kitchen and pour yourself that familiar glass of milk, the one you've trusted for decades, you never once think that might be the reason why. But what if it is? What if the milk you drink every day, the one that made your bones strong when you were young, is now quietly weakening you? No dramatic warning, no flashing signs, just a slow, steady decline that feels like aging, but may actually be something you can change. If you're over 60, I want to speak to you directly today, because I recently came across some eye-opening research, and once you hear this, you won't look at your morning milk the same way again. You see, not all milks are created equal, especially not for older adults. Some milks, yes, even the ones labeled as natural or healthy, can quietly increase your risk of high blood pressure, brain fog, inflammation, and even bone loss. And you know what makes this worse? We trust them. We grew up with them. We poured them over cereal, warmed them for our kids, added them to coffee like clockwork. They're comforting, familiar. And maybe that's why we've never questioned them. But let me ask you something personal. Have you been feeling more tired lately, even after a full night's sleep? Do your joints ache more than they used to? Does your stomach feel a little more sensitive? Or your memory not quite as sharp? You might chalk it up to aging. But what if the real culprit is in your fridge? I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to give you hope. Because just as there are milks that drain your energy and age your body, there are others that can restore it. Milks that calm inflammation, protect your heart, and even support your memory, all with just one small change to your daily routine. You don't need fancy supplements. You don't need extreme diets. You just need to know which milks to choose and which to leave behind. Today, I'll show you 3 types of milk you should never drink if you're over 65, no matter how familiar they feel. And more importantly, I'll introduce you to 3 powerful alternatives that doctors and researchers now recommend for better aging, stronger bones, and clearer thinking. One of them is already in your grocery store, and one might even help slow down cellular aging according to a growing body of science. But I have a small favor to ask before we go any further. If anything I've said so far feels familiar to you, if you've ever felt like your energy isn't what it used to be, or your health is slipping quietly with no clear cause, please type the number 1 in the comments. That's it, just 1. It helps me know I'm not alone, that someone out there is listening and ready to take this small but powerful step toward better health. And if you're new here, make sure you subscribe and click the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. We talk about things no one else does, especially not for people our age. This video might be about milk, but what we're really talking about is independence, vitality, clarity, peace of mind. So stay with me, because in just a moment, we'll uncover the first milk that might be slowly breaking your heart without you even realizing it. This one caught me by surprise. And if it's sitting in your kitchen right now, you'll want to hear every word. We've been told for generations, milk does a body good. And for a long time, that seemed to be true. Milk was on every table. It built our bones, fueled our mornings, and felt like a safe, natural choice. Doctors recommended it, schools served it, advertisements praised it. But here's the quiet truth that no one told us back then. What helps a growing child can silently harm a slowing body. As we age, our needs change, our metabolism slows, our digestion becomes more sensitive, our bones need different support, and our hearts, they can't afford the hidden burdens that some milks carry. And yet, we still drink them. Not because we're careless, because we're loyal to our routines, to what we know, to what once worked. But science is catching up, and what it's finding is sobering. A major study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that certain types of milk, once praised for their health benefits, are now linked to higher risks of inflammation, cognitive decline, and cardiovascular problems, especially in people over 65. Yes, Even milk can age you faster if it's the wrong kind. Let's take whole milk, for example. The natural kind, the creamy, comforting classic. It sounds healthy, doesn't it? But hidden in that creaminess is something your aging body may no longer tolerate: saturated fat. For a younger person with a strong heart and fast metabolism, it might not be a big deal. But for someone in their 60s, 70s, or beyond, that saturated fat can quietly raise LDL cholesterol, narrow arteries, and contribute to silent hypertension. It can cause your heart to work harder, even as you sit, rest, or sleep. The worst part, you may not feel anything right away. There's no sudden chest pain, no alarm, just fatigue, a little more shortness of breath, a vague discomfort you brush off, until one day, something serious happens, and no one connects it to the milk you drank every morning. And whole milk isn't alone. Sweetened condensed milk, used in tea, desserts, or just for that little indulgence, hides nearly 10 grams of sugar in one spoonful. That sugar doesn't just raise your blood glucose, it also feeds chronic inflammation. The very same inflammation linked to Alzheimer's, arthritis, and immune decline. But we don't think of it that way. We think, it's just a little sweet milk in my coffee. What harm could it do? The answer: more than you realize, especially when those spoonfuls add up every day, every week, every year. Then there's rice milk. It's plant-based, dairy-free. Gentle, right? Not quite. Rice milk is often low in protein, high in carbs, and worse, it can contain inorganic arsenic, a toxic element absorbed from the soil. Now, most bodies can filter tiny amounts of arsenic, but as we age, our detox systems weaken. Our kidneys become more sensitive, and the cumulative effect? It builds quietly until energy drops. Bone strength weakens. Kidneys show signs of stress. All from a milk you thought was safe. I know this might be hard to hear. We've spent a lifetime trusting these milks. Some remind us of childhood. Some connect us to family recipes, memories, comfort. But comfort should never come at the cost of clarity, of strength, of longevity. And the truth is, you deserve better. You deserve milks that support your body, not strain it. That help your heart, not burden it. That build up your mind and bones and energy, not drain them. And the good news is, those milks exist. They're not exotic or expensive. They're not a secret only health fanatics know. They're real, accessible, gentle, nourishing. And in just a moment, I'll show you exactly what they are, along with the science behind why they work so well for people over 60. But before we go there, I want to pause and ask something. When was the last time you changed a habit? Not because someone forced you to, but because you finally understood the why behind it. That's what this is about. Not fear, not restriction, just understanding. Because once you truly see how your daily choices affect your body, especially at this stage of life, it is hard to go back to the old way. And if any part of this is resonating with you, if you've ever felt betrayed by your own body or confused about why you're slowing down, I want you to know, it's not your fault. We weren't taught this. No one told us that milk could change its effect with age, but now we know, and now we can do something about it. So please, stay with me, because next, I'll tell you the story of a man, just like many of us, who started to feel older than his age. He thought it was just time catching up with him, but then, he made one small change that changed everything. Let's meet him now. His name is Harold Benson, a retired history teacher from Michigan, 72 years old, widowed, living alone in a quiet suburb, the kind of man who always started his day the same way. 6:30 a.m., a small walk down the driveway to get the paper, a slice of toast, a cup of coffee, and a tall glass of cold, creamy whole milk. It was his routine, his comfort, his constant, but over the last few years, something had shifted. He couldn't explain it at first. He was sleeping more, but waking up tired. His knees ached more than usual. His memory, a little slower. And worst of all, the joy he once had for his morning ritual had quietly faded. He chalked it up to age. It's just what happens after 70, he told himself. But deep down, Harold wondered, why does everything feel just a little harder now? One Sunday, while visiting his daughter Emily, she noticed something was off. "Dad, you're so quiet today," she said gently. He gave a tired smile. "Just a little foggy, honey. I didn't sleep well last night." That was the third Sunday in a row he'd said that. Emily, who worked as a nutritionist, sat down beside him and asked something she never had before. "Can I take a look at what you're eating each day?" He waved it off at first. "Nothing's changed," he said. But then, they opened the fridge. Whole milk, condensed milk, flavored coffee creamer, a few convenient snacks, frozen dinners. Nothing unusual, except it was unusual. Not because of what was missing, but because of what was there. Emily pointed to the milk. "Dad, do you drink this every day?" "Of course, always have. Why?" She paused. Then she explained something Harold had never heard before. How your body processes milk at 72 is very different than when you were 32. She told him about the saturated fat, the hidden sugars, and the rise in lactose sensitivity that happens with age. "You think it's harmless," she said, "but every glass is quietly putting more strain on your heart, your joints, your brain." He didn't believe her at first. Milk was milk. It was natural, trusted, familiar. But that night, Harold couldn't stop thinking about it. So, the next morning, he made a small change. He swapped his usual whole milk for unsweetened almond milk. It felt thin, different, almost wrong. But he kept with it. Then a week later, he tried fermented soy milk after dinner. Then calcium-fortified oat milk before bed. 2 weeks passed, and something strange happened. He woke up one morning and felt clear. His head wasn't as heavy. His knees didn't hurt as much. He even remembered where he left his keys. A small miracle, he joked. By the end of the month, his energy had returned. "I haven't felt this steady in years," he told Emily. His blood pressure, down. His digestion, more regular. His sleep, deeper than it had been in over a decade. And it wasn't just physical. His mood lifted. His conversations flowed. He even started going back to his local coffee shop, bringing his own little bottle of almond milk. The barista smiled. "Trying something new, Mr. B?" He laughed, trying to stick around a little longer. It wasn't magic. It wasn't a miracle cure. It was a milk swap. Simple, easy, overlooked. But for Harold, it was life-changing. And he's not alone. Since that moment, Harold's story has been shared in community centers, churches, even local libraries, anywhere seniors gather to talk about life and how to live it well. Because for every Harold, there's someone else waking up tired, foggy, achy, and thinking, this is just aging. But it might not be. It might be something small, something familiar, something you can change. So let me ask you now, what's in your glass each morning? And is it serving the body you have today, or the one you had 40 years ago? Stay with me, because next we'll uncover the 3 milk choices you must avoid, the very same ones Harold removed from his fridge. And once you see the science and symptoms behind them, you may never look at milk the same way again. Whole milk, the silent heartbreaker. Whole milk carries memories, childhood breakfasts, late-night cookies, a taste of comfort. But behind that creamy taste hides a growing risk. For seniors, whole milk is a cholesterol trap. Each 8-oz glass contains over 4.5 grams of saturated fat, more than your aging heart can safely handle. With age, arteries stiffen, the heart strains, and saturated fat silently raises LDL cholesterol, the bad kind. The kind that clogs arteries, fuels silent hypertension, and increases stroke risk. According to a Harvard study, seniors who consume whole milk regularly increase their risk of cardiovascular events by 18%. Mr. James, 68, learned this the hard way. He never skipped his morning milk. But soon, he was out of breath climbing stairs. His doctor warned, "Your cholesterol is up. cut the full-fat dairy. He switched to plant-based options. Within months, his numbers improved, and so did his energy. And that's not all. Whole milk is also calorie-dense, often contributing to weight gain, something especially dangerous as muscle mass declines with age. Extra pounds strain joints and can worsen diabetes or kidney disease. And if you've ever felt bloated, sluggish, or gassy after a glass of milk, you're not alone. Lactose intolerance increases with age, meaning what once nourished your stomach may now disturb it. Sweetened condensed milk, the sugary trap. This one hides in plain sight. A drizzle in your coffee, a layer in your favorite dessert, a memory of family and warmth. But sweetened condensed milk is a concentrated sugar bomb. 1 tablespoon chalacon and 10 grams of sugar, and most people use far more. That sugar hits your system fast, causing blood sugar spikes that overload your pancreas. Over time, this accelerates your risk of type 2 diabetes, or worsens it if you already have it. Worse yet, that sugar fuels chronic inflammation, spreading quietly through your body and weakening your immune system, increasing joint pain, slowing mental clarity. Mrs. Clara, 74, noticed her hands stiffening each morning. Arthritis, she thought. But after cutting out condensed milk from her tea, her inflammation dropped, and her stiffness faded. There's also a link to your brain. Excess sugar contributes to insulin resistance in the brain, something researchers now call type 3 diabetes, aka Alzheimer's. Think about that. Each time you add that spoonful of sweetened milk, you're feeding a process that may age your brain faster. And your gut doesn't thank you either. This thick, sticky milk slows digestion, causes bloating, and leaves you feeling heavier than you should. 3 rice milk, the weakest link. It seems safe, it's dairy-free, plant-based, mild, but rice milk may be one of the least suitable choices for people over 60. Here's why. Low in protein, less than 1 g per cup. Aging bodies need more protein to maintain muscle, prevent falls, and stay active. High glycemic index spikes blood sugar fast, with no fiber or fat to slow it down. Contains inorganic arsenic, a naturally occurring toxin found in rice-based products. That last one matters more than you think. Arsenic exposure over time has been linked to kidney damage, liver stress, and even cancer, skin, bladder, lung. Mr. Diego, 70, switched to rice milk thinking it was gentle. But after months, his kidney function dropped. His doctor advised, drop the rice milk, try oat milk instead. His numbers stabilized. Add to that the lack of vitamins, minerals, and healthy fats, and rice milk becomes more of a filler than a nourisher. It doesn't harm you in one sip. It harms you slowly, by giving you nothing your body needs, and too much of what it doesn't. Fermented soy milk, brain and bone booster. If your bones are thinning, your memory slipping, or your muscles weakening, this milk can help reverse the tide. Unlike regular soy milk, fermented soy milk is easier to digest and more potent in nutrients, perfect for aging bodies. Why it works: complete protein, contains all 9 essential amino acids to rebuild muscle and prevent frailty. Isoflavones, plant compounds that mimic estrogen gently, protecting bone density, especially for postmenopausal women. Supports memory. Multiple studies link soy to better cognitive function. Zero cholesterol, low fat, great for heart health. Probiotics. Thanks to fermentation, it nurtures gut health, improves immunity, and even supports sleep. Mrs. Annette, 69, used to struggle with night sweats and foggy memory. After switching to fermented soy milk before bedtime, she said, "I feel more grounded, more clear." Her doctor confirmed improved cholesterol and sleep quality. It's rich, creamy, and works warm or cold. Unsweetened almond milk, heart's gentle guardian. Simple, light, and surprisingly powerful. Unsweetened almond milk is the ideal milk for anyone managing blood pressure, weight, or digestion. Why it works: no cholesterol or saturated fat rich in vitamin E, a strong antioxidant that helps protect brain cells from aging. Very low in calories, just 30 to 40 per cup. Easy on digestion, perfect for lactose-intolerant seniors. Helps reduce inflammation, supports clear thinking. Mr. Franklin, 73, switched from dairy to almond milk and noticed fewer stomach aches, more stable energy, and sharper focus during his daily crossword. Use it in smoothies, oatmeal, coffee, or just as a light evening drink. Just remember, always choose the unsweetened version to avoid added sugars. Calcium-Fortified Oat Milk, soothing strength for bones and sleep. There's something comforting about oat milk, its warmth, its smoothness. But when fortified with calcium and vitamin D, oat milk becomes a bone-protecting powerhouse. Why it works. High in beta-glucan, a special fiber that removes cholesterol from your bloodstream, fortified with calcium plus vitamin D, slows down bone loss, lowers fracture risk. Naturally soothing, calms digestion, eases nerves before bedtime, supports regular bowel movements with gentle fiber, lactose-free and non-bloating. Mrs. Helen, 76, used to fear nighttime falls due to weak bones. Her nutritionist recommended calcium-fortified oat milk. Months later, a bone scan showed improved density, and she was sleeping better too. Drink it warm in the evening and feel how it settles your body down naturally. Sometimes it's the smallest things that bring about the biggest change. Not a new medicine, not a big surgery, but something as simple as what you pour into your morning cup. The milk you choose each day may not seem like a big decision, but over time, it can shape the strength of your bones, the clarity of your mind, the rhythm of your heart. And here's the truth. Growing older doesn't mean growing weaker. It means growing wiser and choosing what truly supports your body, your independence, and your peace of mind. So if you've been drinking the same milk for 30 years, ask yourself, is it still serving me? And if the answer is no, I hope today has given you something new. Not just information, but hope. Because better choices are out there. Fermented soy milk for strength and clarity. Almond milk for heart and lightness. Oat milk for calm and bone protection. None of them are perfect, but each of them is better for you right now in this chapter of life. You don't have to change everything. Just one glass, one morning, one habit. Start there. Let your body feel the difference. Let your mind wake up clearer. Let your joints move more freely. And most importantly, let your life feel lighter again. If this message touched you in some way, I'd love to hear from you. Just type 1 in the comments to let me know you're with me. Or share one thing you plan to change starting today. And if you know someone, a friend, a sibling, a neighbor, who might still be drinking the wrong kind of milk, please send this their way. Because health, like wisdom, is even more powerful when we share it. Thank you for spending these moments with me. I wish you strength, clarity, and comfort in every sip from here on out. And remember, a better tomorrow often starts with a better glass today.